I propose to everybody to start building your own AI agent, to start breaking the knowledge barriers and put your knowledge there. Monetizing data, it's the biggest economy impact in the universe right now.
Welcome to the Madden.AI podcast. I'm your host, Chris Madden, and today we have with us a very special guest, George Chalkiadakis. So George, you're from Greece. So we met at the Madden.AI Live conference in Las Vegas. What a great time. Could you just give us, our audience, a little bit of background to who you are?
Yes, I have started my professional life in late 1998, where I was selected as a PhD student for MIT. Two colleagues of mine tell me, come for 3 months, we are creating a startup. I stick there for almost 25 years. We have created a very nice, interesting thing, almost managing invoicing sector in Europe, having millions of transactions. I have experienced a successful exit after 24 years from that. And I have continued my dream in AI, where we are pioneering by creating, let's say, an orchestra of AI agents. So what makes us unique is that we have the ability to orchestrate communication among AI agents.
Tell us more about the startup. When did you found it, and who is your founding team?
We have we have started coding at, let's say, May 2023. Okay, right now we have almost 500,000 line of codes. Have started with two of my participants. Some months ago, a major IT company from India invested in us. So right now we happen to have almost 15 employees. And we reached our first goal to, let's say, deliver 90,000 lines of codes every month. So there is a huge expansion in our product. Right now, we have started from targeting small areas like the Athens in Mumbai, where there are almost 10,000 websites of the addressable market that we are searching. And from this month on, we are scaling in more areas and more countries.
Yeah, that's some pretty good growth, the 15 employees too. So you're writing the code. Have you delivered the product to a customer yet?
Yes, we happen to have, let's say, we have started first of all with supermarkets, because when you go inside the supermarket, you don't want to buy spaghetti, mozzarella, and the rest of things. You have a meal in your plan. I'm going to cook those. I'm going to have my buddies. So with AI, the first thing is that we have redefined customer experience. You go and you use your WhatsApp, so you don't need to create any app. You can use WhatsApp, you can use Viber, you can use Messenger or a browser. You speak directly with the AI agent. The AI agent, if he doesn't know, he asks for another AI agent's experience. So we have created for chefs, for youths, for lawyers. So if you're within the supermarket, you can start asking more and more questions, not relevant directly with the product, but relevant with your need. And so we reply to your need. So imagine you're going to have, let's say, a dinner with 6 or 7 from your friends. You want to calculate quantities, to propose recipes, to give you indication of how to cook it. Yes, you're going to buy products from the supermarket. But let's say even you can order, let's say, drinks that should be delivered at that moment in a specific day. So it all orchestrates everything and integrates with a lot of systems without making a project by itself.
Oh, wow. So is it the supermarkets that are like signing up for your product so that they can offer it to the customers?
Yes. So imagine inside the supermarkets, they print some QR codes. They say to the customer, just scan it and the customers start experiencing it. So we have almost daily in Northern 4,000 online users using us. Of course, we are expanding to more cases, so we are not isolated in supermarkets. For example, we have done that also for a company that is renting yachts. Because when you rent a yacht, you have a lot of needs, from weather updates, for purchasing products in the islands that you're going to reach, for, let's say, scheduling your trip and where you should park your yacht, and a lot of other needs. And we have done that also for lawyers, for, let's say, financial institution giving advices. The huge benefit is the ability, let's say, to address the total need and get information. For a big HR company, we are crawling the competitors' advertisement and say, hi, guys, your competitors have a new job listing which you don't have, and you have, let's say, 20 CVs matching that. Would you like to communicate with that customer? So it reshapes all the way that you make customer experience. And that's why we say that we provide innovation.
Wow. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm starting to, see the use case there. It's very, very nice. And so for yachts too, and then what AI large language models are you using in your product?
Okay, our product is based on MAMA technology. MAMA is multi-agent model AI, which means that we give an out-of-the-box tool. So you don't need to think about embedding models, re-ranking models, RLM, vector databases. It provides everything and gives you the ability to orchestrate that. So we have done the following. We have integrated all the LLM providers. So imagine right now we have more than 7,000 models. So from OpenAI, Cohere, Anthropic, Hugging Face, NVIDIA, even to Olma, which is models that you can host locally. So we are totally model independent. Yes, we say to everybody, there is not one model. There is a series of models that you use, other for appendings, other for searching, like Rank, other for prompting, like LLMs. And we give them an out-of-the-box tool that they can do it. And we say, forget for the models. Yes, you can select inside. You don't need to subscribe to them. We give them out-of-the-box all the solution. You can click it a few seconds and just create an agent in, let's say, 5 minutes. The only thing that you have to take a decision is, are you going to give it public available? So are you going to allow everybody to use it? Second, are you willing to monetize your data and get earnings? So you define the policy, how you charge the users. And are you willing to allow a context-specific targeted advertisement? So you get, for the first time, advertisements that is not a generic banner as the website are doing, but advertisements that are context-specific to the user request. So by doing like that, you might be earning a lot of money every month by the users because your AI agent, it generates money for you.
What was the inspiration to start your startup?
Yes, the inspiration, it was that every time I was trying to find something, I had to, let's say, use first Google, then press a link, then copy the content, then unite the information with the rest of the information. So I was ending up with 6 or 7. For example, if you go to an Amazon and you would like to make, let's say, your daughter's house, and you want to start purchasing the furniture, let's say, computers and the rest, you will see that in order only to create a single room, not a house, you will spend weeks of searching and different purchasing. I don't know, I've made 50 different orders for a single room. There was, let's say, if you speak with a human and you go and say to a very nice and clever sales guy, I would like to renovate my room, he will be clever enough to say, okay, I will provide you everything. The current websites cannot do that. They say, okay, I can provide you a bed. I can provide you, let's say, a carpet. But they cannot address the problem. So even if I go to them and say, I would like to renovate a room, they will not reply to that. That's the huge difference from AI agents, because although they're not able to address the total need, they are able to orchestrate and find how others can contribute to that need and give it a holistic approach. So once again, go to any website that's selling food. Can you tell him, I would like to create a recipe, for example, moussaka, which is very famous in Greece. It has 9 ingredients. So 9 different times you should click and add to basket. You cannot say, get me all the product that's needed to create a moussaka. With AI agents, yes, you can do that.
As a CEO, are you the lead coder as well?
When you create a startup, you have multiple chefs. So You are, let's say, financial officer, you are a coder, yes, I'm not, let's say, thank God that right now I'm not the main coder. I used to be when we really started. I'm more in business development and giving directions to the research team. We are lucky enough to be multi-language and multicultural. So in our company, only 2 guys out of 15 are Greeks and speak Greek. The rest are from Hindi, Russians, Italians, Chinese.
Wow.
My role is mainly to give the vision. We do believe that there is no model that can address all the needs. So even ChatGPT, if they spend right now, there are more than 100 billions investment on there. If they spend, let's say, 1 trillion, they cannot make the super LLM. Instead, we say it is far easier and more controllable and more safe to have an orchestra where you put specialized AI agents and you start communicating with them. So it's like comparing a very talented, let's say, Mozart, the pianist. Yes, he was the greatest, with the most talented orchestra maestro. We are creating those maestros. And we do believe that by specializing AI agent, it's far more innovative. Imagine, every day Google is with that spider, it's grabbing information. But Google cannot guarantee the quality of the information. That's why they provide the link, so that the guy that provides the information is also eligible for that. When you publish an AI agent, you are eligible for that AI agent. It has knowledge, it is experience, and you can trust him because somebody did for that. Or you cannot trust him, put it on the block list. So by creating small, very efficient and knowledge-specific AI agents, then you become unique. There are a lot of other guys that will ask you. For example, right now, a chef is being asked from a supermarket. He would never imagine that he will earn money back from a supermarket. Probably he is earning only for restaurants. So the business paradigm and the technology paradigm is totally shifting. I propose to everybody to start building your own AI agent, to start breaking the knowledge barriers and put your knowledge there. Monetizing data, it's the biggest, let's say, economy impact in the universe right now. We are going to shift all the economy. And AI gives for the first time the ability to do that because it doesn't need any integration. So it's when you publish it, it's public available. You can just use it. And if you have an extra that others can use it, so you never know who is going to use it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, do you have advice there? Like, people are on the data, like everyone's kind of like providing all this data for free in a lot of ways for LLMs to come and take it. I mean, should you be putting up protections, or do you try to have people pay for your data?
Let's say I was speaking yesterday with the girl that's giving me diets. I said, you are very expert on that. Do your AI agent, because there are a lot of non-professional guys that are giving diets. Probably they are creating the health issues to other persons. So when a professional creates an AI agent and gets the responsibility of the knowledge that he's distributing, he becomes, let's say, a knowledge hub. And yes, we are really missing those knowledge hub. Right now, trying to find how many AI agents are available for risk analysis, for fraud analysis, for everyday usage, from giving healthy advices till purchasing advice and more. Everybody has a unique experience and he should be able to monetize it. And yes, I'm sure a lot of fraud is going to come with that. And we are responsible to address that fraud and protect it. And that's why you need an orchestration, because on an orchestration level, it's like the government. You put policies. So by putting policies, you can protect the public. Now, it's quite difficult in an LLM to put policy. But the result of the LLM, you can put a policy. So to say, okay, forward it, remove that, address that problem. That's why we believe that an orchestration of AI agents far more efficient than create the super model with, let's say, every model in the world and putting more and more on that. Someday it's going to break.
Yeah.
And imagine humans, there isn't any Superman doing everything. Usually you make a team of persons to complete successful, and successful paradigms are big teams with 1,000 of users. So I do believe in orchestration of 1,000 of AI agents with having the ability to be eligible. So to have somebody behind the AI agent to be eligible for what he's distributing. It's comparing articles from a journalist to an article that somebody is pushing a blog, an anonymous article. What's the value of the anonymous articles and what's the value of a journalist article? So that's the equivalent for me.
What are you most concerned about with AI and the disruption that's going to be caused by AI? What are you most worried about?
Let's say the majority of the persons didn't realize, but there is going to be a huge job positions shift. So a lot of job positions, they will stop existing. Even in my field, I do believe I'm the last generation of coders. You're not going to have, especially, let's say, HTML coders or let's say C++ coders. They're not going to exist anymore. AI will take care. Yes, there will be a huge demand for architects. So you must right now start digging on that, because within the next 5 years, a lot of positions will stop existing. We are already experiencing with that in call centers. Imagine Klarna, they have fired 700 guys in a night because AI is doing everything. But in the same time, nobody talked how many data scientists, the AI engineers they hired to support the AI. So the paradigm is totally changing. And I do believe this is the biggest chance of humanity right now, because AI is breaking naturalization levels. So if you can make something unique, if you are very experienced in something and you can place and publish that knowledge and have the ability to sell that knowledge, then your knowledge is your biggest asset. And not the product that you probably are selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the experience guide to address the human needs.
Yeah. It's just a question of how many experts can you have out there? I mean, I think you're totally right that you got to focus on what you're uniquely capable of doing and providing for the world. But yeah, a lot of job disruption going on, and you're creating new work here, new lines of work with AI. I wonder what other areas are going to be created from this new technological wave.
And let's say for the first time, there is no language barrier. So we had a case that we combined content in Bulgarian, Romanian, Greek, and English, and they were being asked by Hindis. So you don't need to do translation anymore. You don't need to do a lot of things. But yes, you do need to have a specialized AI agent to really validate the content. Because the automation of translation doesn't mean that you get a good translation. So there is a lot of things that is happening outside there. And the ability to make an AI agent speak with others, it's for me the key importance. It's like making a cell phone in America speaking with a cell phone in Greece. The guys that really made that gave to humanity a huge ability of communication. And that's the ability that we are creating right now.
Yeah. I come from an education background and English teacher, and the new ChatGPT 4.0, it's just incredible how good it is at translating. And, so I'm trying to learn Korean right now, and now I've got this device that can just instantly translate for me and reply back in a human voice. I still need to learn it too, this nice tool that makes it really easy. It makes you worried about a lot of the tutoring jobs out there, a lot of translation jobs. I mean, obviously it has impact there. Could you talk about the AI tools you use daily in personal and in business?
First of all, I was one of the first guys with dyslexia that entered the university. So believe me, in order to make a piece of document, it's far easier for me to orchestrate a series of tools that really helps me doing that. So I was really benefited from those technologies. Imagine if I was born 20 years earlier than I was born, probably I would have suffered a lot of problems. And yes, daily I'm using My-Buddy by orchestrating and controlling my mails, even reviewing them before I sending, to make it shorter, to change, let's say, the way I have expressed myself, using a lot of models. not only in GPT, there are also a lot of nice model out there. GPT is very famous, very efficient, but doesn't need to be in everyday usage. I like very much, and I do believe that the humans are understanding very good pictures. So I'm using a lot of AI tools for creating those pictures, videos. This is our current era. And I use it also for automating and scheduling my appointments. So usually when you speak with me and arranging appointments, an AI is speaking basically. But this is also the problem, because let's say if you automate everything, basically you're losing the knowledge. So you do need something to remind you, yes, George is that guy that's going to meet with you, and for him from that place, and he's expert on that. So it's not only automation, but also debriefing. So for me, AI is fantastic for debriefing, because you cannot remember everything. But it's like a personal assistant that debriefs me every day. You're going to see that guy, and he has done those things in his life. It's key important for me. It really saves me a lot of time and keep me involved in the knowledge, because if you outsource all the knowledge, you don't have knowledge. AI has it.
Right. No, that's AI that goes through your emails and prepares things, summarizes stuff. You still need to understand what you're sending out there and like kind of keep track of the information that's the AI agent's doing for you. And so you're actually getting like briefs of your work daily, or like
yes,
through what application?
I have weekly meetings with my development team. Okay. Which none of them are speaking Greek, first of all, and they are speaking 5 different languages. We do need to understand, let's say, some basic KPIs, but also to give directions and vision and discuss probably some backlog issues with priorities in this time. So it really helps there. I'm discussing about every 2 weeks with researchers. Speaking about research, it is even more difficult. Researchers, they don't have KPIs. You must guide them. So right now we are running a huge research on, let's say, if you have 10 millions of AI agents, how you select the AI agents you're going to use. That's the problem we're solving right now.
So that's really interesting to me that you've got a team where the native language is so many 5 different languages. And so what do you do to stay all on the same page? Is it English that's the common language, or is it English that's translated to the native language of your employees?
We have started with English as a common language, but the more efficient is to translate to his natural language. And by doing like that, we have really improved efficiency. Because, let's say, when you don't think in your natural language, it takes some more seconds, and usually you don't express in the same way. So by giving them the ability to express in Hindi, we got better feedback and better ideas than doing in English, because they can describe with their mentality, not starting thinking like an Englishman, but thinking like a guru in India and create fantastic AI things, because they do have gurus there, real gurus.
Right. No, that's interesting. So that the Hindi programmer is, communicating in Hindi, and they can express themselves better. They're not trying to translate it to English, and like maybe it's something they can't express well. But then you're receiving a brief in English or in Greek?
A brief in my language, not only in English, and sentiment analysis at the same time. Because let's say when you have a team that's not located in one room, you don't have benchmarks to evaluate. Is he good? Does he feel good? Is he stressed? And if you lose a programmer, it's something that you really cannot replace in 1 second. It takes a lot of time to find very experienced developers. And so you do need to understand the things that you would probably understand if you were in the same room. So emotions, sentiments, stress, all that things are, for me, KPIs that I'm receiving. And let's say, if the AI tell me that guy is a bit stressed, then it's something that we should look upon on that. In AI, every day we have meltdowns. A lot of guys cannot address the stress. We are delivering 90,000 lines of code every month. It's huge.
That is huge. So this is really fascinating for me because you're finding these great programmers around the world and they don't need to know English. They can be experts and not have to know the international language of English because it gets translated to English.
Right now, we do need to have English because in the end, you must speak with somebody and so he can be able to communicate with you. But in a year time, when, let's say, the speech-to-speech will be fully automated in every language, because right now it's fully automated on English and other 7 languages, not 120 like LLM, then yes, for me, that's the paradigm. And that's why I believe it reshapes all the industry, because you would be natively communicating with your guy without the need of having a common language. It's fantastic. It's really reshapes the paradigm.
And what is the name of the software or the program you're using to do all this team management and communication?
We have to develop our tools behind, but basically it's an additional AI agent within My-Buddy. So with My-Buddy,
so you built your own you built your own software to solve this problem. Yeah.
Yes. Let's say don't trust any guy that doesn't use his tools.
And you're getting a team brief. Is that through an email? Is that a summary in a page?
We are putting on Notion. We are using established tools like Notion, GitHub. Of course, we are using that. But those debrief we are putting inside Notion, which is fantastic. So using Notion, you should data entry everything you see there. We are, let's say, AI generating and putting there information. But this is a technical process. Imagine what is happening with real business cases. Because, let's say, our development team, it is almost 12 persons. We are not so big. But imagine a supermarket that every day receives 20,000 visitors. And especially countries like Cyprus or Greece, which are heavily related with tourism. So there are already multi-language demand. So we have Chinese coming, which they don't speak English. Russian, which they fairly speak English. Arabs, which they speak usually French, not English. So, and in the end, you want to address their need. If you have the capability to speak to everybody and really understand its needs, yes, you heavily open your market. And that's why My-Buddy is doing. And we say, okay, we are not expert in everything, but you can find an expert there, invite him, and become part of your process. Put him in your process and become part of your process. So, for example, Chris, as you said, an expert in communication. How many customers do you have in Greece?
Yeah, none. I don't.
You don't have. Imagine if you create your AI agent and start giving advices, you will end up having customers in Greece, in places you would probably ever imagine you could have. And that's the problem. The guys that are really experts, they are going to be heavily beneficial by the AI. The guys that they didn't work to specialize on a specific field, they will start having trouble until they find which things they are very good.
Right. It allows those people that are really good, the masters, to reach more people. Very fascinating. And so for your potential customers or clients, are you offering, it's kind of like you tell us what you need, client, and we will build a novel system for you? Or are you trying to do kind of more, one size fits all?
Okay, there is an out-of-the-box platform. We will allow the public registry within next week, because right now we had big enterprises which we were opening connections. We have a partnership program, so anybody can become a partner for us, especially guys that are creating websites, they are outsourcing digital marketing or journalists. So those guys, they are influencing a lot of others and they are providing the services for others. They are more than welcome to participate in My-Buddy and get benefit out of that. So we are expanding right now. We have started in 2 geographic areas. Within next month, we're going to be in Brazil and the US, and we see. So we have right now about 15,000 AI agents, but every day are expanding.
Very cool. You have a conference coming up that you're speaking at. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it's a Reflect Festival. So reflectfest.com. It is, let's say, the biggest event in EMEA region. They are coming from Dubai. They are coming from all the North Europe and South Europe. They are coming from Asia. And they have gathered all the AI companies and a lot of investors and almost 10,000 visitors coming to there. And we are going to present our Mama technology. So probably you will see that you are in a supermarket, but you want to learn more about Reflect Fest so that you can learn and see that 5 minutes from your supermarket. So get your bag and go there. And return back. So that ability to communicate and adjust the human needs based on information, something that we are presenting. We don't believe that you should visit 50 different websites to find information. You should have a single point that you ask and really orchestrates communication with the rest of the guys, but really returns a solid answer, not links. And that's what we are doing and we are presenting. And at the same time, you get benefit from that. So every time a guy asks your AI agent, please, you will get money from that. So you start having net cash and profits, not just another AI agent which you have spent, let's say, 2 weeks of setuping, putting knowledge, and it burns only energy. So you should pay it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, George, is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience?
Yes, I would like to say that everybody should specialize in their knowledge. So your data is your asset. Go and find them. Let's say use AI to address and evaluate the value of those data and starting thinking, okay, not what I can do, what others can do with your knowledge. Because that's the huge paradigm. Till now, the websites were pushing information, but they were not consuming. Very few websites are consuming information from other websites. Everybody was pushing information. The first time that we started consuming information is when we have started offering, which then it became Messenger and the rest of peer-to-peer networks, where we start exchanging information and we start consuming them. Start thinking that's the first time you are able to sell your knowledge, as probably teachers and professors are doing the last 1,000 years. Okay, so everybody will become a teacher and professor. It will become a coach, an executive, and will deliver his knowledge. Start cultivating that, pushing that, creating your AI agent, and you would probably benefit from that heavily, I do believe.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for this, George. It's been really inspiring to hear what you're building and what you've already achieved, and it's really exciting and gave me some good ideas myself. So it was a pleasure to have you. Thanks for coming all the way to Las Vegas for Madden.AI Live. We have some announcements soon on our next event, and we definitely hope that our paths cross again in the future here.
Yes, definitely. And I invite you to schedule Madden.AI Europe.
Yeah, no.
It's a very nice place to schedule events.
Yeah, we'd love to do it in Cyprus. Greece, too. They just won like the best country of the year from The Economist last year because they've improved so much since the 2009 crash.
I do urge you to come and schedule an event. Let's say there is a huge gap in knowledge in AI from US compared to Europe. But once more, right now, the strongest guy in AI, they are in Asia. So if you see the citations of AI universities, you will see that China, Singapore, Australia have the 10th first position. So they're really doing quite good stuff there.
Yeah, wow.
And
yeah, we need to have
Europe has to rush. We are far, far behind AI compared to anybody else.
Well, then you're doing great work for your continent there, trying to pull Europe up to the rest of the world. Yeah. Well, George, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining Madden.AI podcast.
Thank you. Have a nice time, Chris.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.